So FM22 is round the corner, and I just had this thought, man. I just had this thought. What if all these tactics I've built don't work in FM22? I mean, are they going to work in FM22? How's it going, folks? Welcome in. Thank you for popping back to the channel. A lot of FM22 talk going on, and I'm excited about it just as much as you are. But then I thought, man, I've spent a year building these tactics on FM21, and I think they're solid. Are they going to work in FM22? So that's what we're going to look through today. I mean, when I go to my save file, my tactics save file, should I say, it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, this one is just for the game itself. You can see we've rocked down there. I mean, there must be 20, 30, 40. Then if we go to here, this is just for drafting. You can see amount of failed draft attempts I've had in there as well. And here's some more on the cloud. I mean, I've just got an absolute shed load because of various tactic testing, all the saves I've done, just loads. And a lot of them are really good, but they're going to work in FM22. A lot of you will be in the same boat. You've made some killer tactics in FM21, and I've got some good news for you. They're going to work in FM22 too. Yep, they're going to work. They're going to work. But, and there's always a but, right? And we'll get to that but shortly. But first, let me tell you why your tactic's going to still work. Now, what we learned from FM is the roles in the game are going to stay the same, with the only addition being that bad boy, the wide centre back. That's only going to help. It's not going to hinder your current tactics. So you can be pretty confident in tactics you've made and roles you've adopted that the basis is going to be the same. So your tactics are going to work. So in midfield, you're still going to have the same roles. You're going to have your CMs, your DLPs, your box-to-box, your advanced playmakers, your ball winners, your Mazzalas, your RPMs. All those that you're familiar with, they're not going to change. It's the same with your strikers. Strikers are going to be the same all down the board. Tweaks here and there to what they do with the match engine, but the roles will stay the same. So as I said, the wide centre-back, the new coming role, is going to be the only one that's going to affect it. It's going to affect it in a positive way, especially when you're playing three at the back, obviously, because this guy then is going to give you more options. He's going to go up there or in there, depending on how you play the wide centre-back. If you use him at all, you don't have to use him, but I know everyone's going to use him. So we think that your tactics are going to work. Roles are going to be similar, they're going to work the same way, so there's no reason why your FM21 tactic won't transfer over to FM22. So keep those save files and then just transport them across, save them to the cloud or whatever. Now the but. Your tactics are solid, they're going to work. And the but is this. So I've got a load of tactics there, all different styles. You've got counter-attacking, 4-4-2s, 4-2-3-1s, and pressing styles, high pressing styles. Now what this chap said last week is going to affect some of your tactics. So regarding pressing, this guy up here is Nick Madden, who works for SI, and he revealed that pressing will indeed affect your stamina. So if you're going all out high press, gegenpress, whichever way you say it, if you're going all out press and your tactic is designed to do that the whole match, then your FM21 tactic will not work in FM22. Now some people will be devastated about this, because I would say 90% of tactics that you download from various places have got the high press, high defensive line, high line of engagement, extremely high tempo. Some people like me are quite happy about it.
One more for the good guys.
So what's going to happen with your current tactic? Let's take the classic 4-2-3-1, which is probably the most used tactic this year and past years. Usually it comes with an extremely high tempo, and your defensive line is way higher and your line of engagement is up there as well. Extremely urgent pressing. Now this year it's been fine and dandy. You've been obliterated teams. You press them the whole match, they can't get out, and you beat them. However, in FM22, and you might see above my head there, those hearts will become a little bit more familiar and a little bit quicker. For example, look at Rodri there. His heart is red and really low. What they're saying in FM22 is that's going to happen to your team faster. Your players are going to be exhausted, and by exhausted, they're not going to get to players they're pressing. They're going to leave gaps all over the place, and your opposition are just going to smash it a bit. Now I know what you're thinking, right? 90% of your tactics are that style. I get it, a lot of mine are too, because it's the way the game works and it's how you win matches. But don't worry, all is not lost. You can adapt and still keep your FM21 pressing tactic over to FM22, just with a few tweaks. So let's say you still want to use your pressing style like this. There's one of mine there. So I want to use that, right? Cool. Use it in FM21. Go full throttle, but plan it. Have a backup so you can pick and choose your spots. So let's say you're going to go full throttle from the offset, a bit like Liverpool do in big games. against Man City, for example, they go off from the offset, and then they back off a bit. So if you've got a second tactic, you'll be able to do that too. So we'll do that now. So you've got your Thundercat tactic there, that's what I call it. We'll make a copy of it, right? Exactly the same, but what we're going to do is we're going to make it so it's a back off version of it to keep a bit of the energy back and pick and choose our moments to go back to the main pressing tactic. I hope this is making sense so far. What we're going to do is we're going to have two versions of the same tactic. So we've got our second tactic now, okay? So this is the one we're going to use to back off a bit. So instead of the extremely high tempo, we give the boys a breather and we'll just knock it back to standard or maybe even lower for that period of time. Same goes for out of possession. Instead of extremely urgent, we might back off a bit, go to standard or keep it at urgent. And as for the pressing goes, maybe we don't want them to counter press all the time. Let's just take that off for now. Let them get a breather. So what you then got is a second version of your main tactic. So you've got your main tactic there, the extremely high pressing in your face. Maybe you go full on for the first 15 minutes, then give your boys a bit of a back off. So there's the back off tactic, exactly the same layout. The familiarity is going to stay the same, the cohesion, but they're just going to press back a bit and reserve a bit of energy. Then 10 minutes or so later, when you feel like you can, and it's the right time in the match, after you're watching the match highlights, bang, back to your main tactic, your pressing tactic, and kind of rotate them like that. Now look, it hasn't been released yet, so this is kind of speculation, but if you read between the lines of what they were saying in those videos, this looks like a good way to keep your FM21 tactic that has been battering opposition, and with some sensible tweaks, it's going to work in FM22. You're just going to have to be a bit more reactive to match situations, so maybe the days of watching in key highlights are gone now. They're gone. You're going to have to watch your team and see what they're actually doing, and I like that. I'm all for that. So just watching on a TV angle, for example, and in key highlights, just watch your team smash teams. Might not be the one. It might not be the one. You might have to take a bit more time, go old school into 2D even, or data analyst, and see how your boys are doing. Are some of them lagging off? Are they struggling to get to the man? If they are, it could be time to flip it back to your second tactic and give the boys a breather. I mean, what we're doing now in FM21 is pretty much the equivalent of saying sprint non-stop for 90 minutes. What they're doing next year is saying you can sprint for a bit, but you're obviously going to have to back off a bit. So it's good news, right? It just means you're going to have to adapt a bit more and think a bit more, and it's what we love about the game. But the main point about this video is, before you install FM22, just make sure that all these bad boys that you've spent so hard building and creating are in a safe place, and you'll be able to transfer them over to FM22 and then tweak them as you need to. Thanks for popping by again, folks. We are on the charge to 5,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, please drop a sub. And on those roles, I'm going to be doing a whole series on Know Your Roles for FM22. So look out for that too.